What is going on, the Inbound Secret? This is Bryce here. Wanted to take a moment out of your day here to talk about something that everybody seems to overlook in their lead generation or their social media advertising, or hell, even these days in email marketing and branding. And that's intent. And it's value. It's really intent with value. What I mean by that is, traditionally speaking, advertising has always been try and get your brand or yourself in front of everybody that you possibly can, and some of those stick. But that hasn't worked in years, at least not to the extent that we would like it to. These days, and especially more and more and more, it's about involvement, community, branding yourself, in turn with branding your company. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people do is when they launch a creative or they launch copy, especially in social media, we see them try to bite right away. They try to go for the sale right away. 5 years ago, that may have worked really well, but today you need to nurture these people. You've got to kind of handhold your ideal prospect, your ideal client, your potential lead to wanting to work with you. Because you already know you've got a service and solution that will benefit them. But now how do they come to that same realization? Well, that's with value, that's with content, that's doing everything you do with intent. So when you're putting out, let's say, Instagram posts or Facebook posts, make sure that everything that you're posting is following kind of the same trend. Are you trying to portray a lifestyle? Are you trying to portray humor? Are you trying to portray results? Whatever it is, make sure you're following that intent. Now, I know we all love the cat videos on Facebook. They're perfectly good to enjoy and they're very entertaining. But if all you're doing is sharing those, well, what's your intent? Now when you're sharing something that is intent-based and has value to your marketplace, well, it's going to get lost in all the shuffle. So what we really want to see, especially with ads, is we want to see what was previously called the sizzle reel. Now Frank Kern calls it intent-based branding. We have our own model called the inbound method. But what it does is it goes out and you're basically giving value and giving solutions to people up front with no call to action. So think of a TV commercial, for example, okay? And it could be just, hey, here's some value, here's some information. If you want to learn more and verbally say it, don't put a call to action on the ad, but verbally say it, visit us here. And then you want to do that a couple times. So really your objective is in 3 parts. Part 1, deliver value with intent, with no call to action up front. Step 2, build that audience and then retarget that audience, which will now be warm to your methods. And then step 3, continue that retargeting and nurturing with value and intent with calls to action either in your video or actually on the ad, so that by the time they actually get to that portion, they know who you are, they like who you are, they trust what you're doing, and in turn, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Now, another real good method out here is to do a front load and a back load. And I know that sounds complicated, and we can make it as complicated as you want, but in its simplest form, it means you're going out on social sites and your actual advertising dollars, and you're going out branding yourself and your company as the expert in your field, getting omnipresence, so that when somebody thinks of your solution, they know you're the go-to person because you've been delivering this value and giving an opportunity for you to help them if, when, and how they want help. But at the same time, you backload with retargeting, SEO, and organics, which take much longer to develop, but they get you, quote unquote, free leads and free opportunity because now you've developed that following. So when we talk about some of the biggest people in the game, in whatever industry you're in, you'll notice that they've got a large amount of following on Instagram. You'll notice they have a large amount of following on Facebook. You'll notice that they're really prevalent in groups. You'll notice that they're really prevalent on Google and Yahoo and MSN and Bing. You'll notice that they're really prevalent everywhere. And they're not prevalent with buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. They're prevalent with, here's how to solve this problem. Here's how to solve this problem. Hey, we're giving this away. Hey, you may want some more information. Here's my ebook. Or hey, here's a free training. Or hey, spend a few moments looking over this. Or hey, we're doing this contest because it's spring or summer or New Year's or a reason behind it. And then you go out and all of a sudden you're developing this following that wants to engage with you and in turn wants to provide you business, their own business and referrals, and now all of a sudden you're an expert in your field again, but digitally. You don't have to rely on the traditional canvassing, door-knocking teams or cold calling or picking up the yellow pages and hoping somebody answers or sending out a billion mailers and hoping that 1% of it turns into business. You don't have to do that. There's a much better way to do that. And that's with digital marketing concepts that we call the ecosystem. And what we call the ecosystem really does take the prospect, your ideal client, from inception of seeing your stuff for the first time ever, a cold contact, and then bringing it all the way to fruition to a closed client. Everything in between that, our ecosystem helps you do, and it's a tool. And that's what this is about. So if you already have an ecosystem or you're developing your own or you need help with one, feel free to give us a shout out here. You can find our development side of the company at Funnel Driven LLC. You can go to results.closemorebiz.com and check us out. Or if you just want some training and some information, we've got some free courses and some paid courses if you go to www.theinboundsecret.com and you can get your learn on. But I want y'all to remember that you don't have to go for the sale right away. Because remember, only 5% of buyers in really any given industry are ready to make a purchasing decision now or soon. Approximately 45% of buyers will be ready in the next 6 months. And the other 50% won't be ready within a soon time frame. So what pool are you going after? Well, if you're going for the sale right away, you're only going after 5% of the community. But if you're nurturing them, you're providing value, everything you're doing is with intent. You're giving the intent out there and you're giving the expertise out there and you're helping people, genuinely helping people to the extent that you can without causing yourself a deficit or a loss. Now you're generating prospecting to 95% of the community that's going to come to you because they know, like, and trust you, and now you've got a much bigger pool of prospects that you can work and retarget and send your offer to and build relationships with, and now you've got really a concrete digital marketing exercise and platforms that you can utilize to help grow your business. So remember, do everything with intent, provide value, bring in more customers, grow your business. Y'all were made to thrive, not just survive. Feel free to ping me if you've got any questions. This was Bryce with The Inbound Secret, Funnel Driven LLC, and Chimera Marketing. Looking forward to hollering at y'all tomorrow.